Hello and thanks for joining us. This is the Signature TV News Update. I am Marvelous Obomman. Now in the headlines, Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong relaxes curfew in Jos North, South Basa local governments. President Muhammadu Buhari security chiefs meet over terror war. Charles Soludo Victor Oye lose as court declares Umeoji APGA candidates of Anambra governorship election. And now the details. Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong has lifted the 24-hour curfew placed on Jos North local government. He said beginning on Thursday, August 19, 2021, the curfew will be enforced from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day until further notice. This will also apply to Basa and Jos South local government areas. The decision was made following a State Security Council meeting on Wednesday at Government House, Rayfield, where the governor was briefed by the chiefs of security agencies and evaluated the situation. Governor Lalong, while relaxing the curfew, cautioned troublemakers to stop endangering citizens' lives and property or face battle with security officials, who he have been told to be severe on anyone who causes a breach of the peace. He expressed concern over what he called the desperation of criminals bent on wreaking havoc in the state, citing isolated incidents that resulted in the deaths of people and the damage to property in several sections of Jos North and Basa local government areas during the curfew. The governor further stated that while the curfew in Jos North is relaxed, security services will set up permanent checkpoints in high-risk neighborhoods, deploy additional uniformed and plainclothes operatives, and monitor civilians' behavior around the clock. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday met with security chiefs at the presidential villa Abuja. It was gathered that the president scheduled the meeting to receive updates on security efforts and give direction on the next line of action on the various operations. The security forces have in the past few weeks taking the battle more robustly to insurgents and bandits. In attendance were President Yemi Osibanjo, Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, National Security Advisor, Retired Major General Babagana Monguno, Chief of Defense Staff, General Loki Irabo, Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Isiaka Amaho, and Director General Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi. The meeting also had the Minister of Defense, Bashir Magashi, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, and the Minister of Interior, Rauf Arebushola, in attendance. The battle for the governorship ticket of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, and the chairmanship of the party has swung back in favor of the Independent National Electoral Commission recognized candidates Chukwuma Umeoji and Chief Jude Okeke. This is following a landmark ruling of the High Court of Owerri on Thursday, which struck out a fresh court action brought by Victor Oye to stop Chukwuma Umeoji and reaffirm its earlier judgment declaring the Owerri Convention that produced Jude Okeke as APGA chairman valid, and directing INEC to accept and continue to recognize and publish the name of Chukwuma Umeoji, who emerged as APGA governorship candidate in Awka as the candidate of the party, and to mandatorily include his name in all electoral processes for the Anambra governorship election. This ruling was sequel to an application for stay of execution and leave to appeal filed by Chief Victor Oye, wherein the court granted him leave to appeal but refused to grant the order for a stay of execution, but rather went ahead to reaffirm its earlier judgment. The court expressly stated that INEC cannot evade its duty to comply with the orders of the court declaring Umeoji candidate, and therefore has a legal obligation to continue to carry out, obey, and comply with the extant, valid, and subsisting judgment of the court delivered on July 28, 2021, which declared Umeoji candidate and ordered INEC to continue to recognize him and Jude Okeke, pending the determination of the appeal filed by Victor Oye at Appeal Court Owerri. By today's ruling, INEC is directly restrained from attempting to remove the name of Umeoji as the candidate of APGA from its list, as it was rumored that it was under pressure to do so. The Executive Secretary of Nigeria Christian Pilgrims Commission (NCPC), Reverend Dr. Yakubu Pam, has commended Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State for his commitment to God and exemplary leadership in spite of the nation's economic, security, and public health challenges. Speaking when he addressed pilgrims from Enugu and Benue states who were departing from Jordan from the Akano Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, Reverend Pam disclosed that Governor Ugwuanyi is the only state chief executive in the southeast and south-south geopolitical zones of the country that has so far sponsored candidates in the ongoing Easter pilgrimage to Jordan for 2021. The NCPC Executive Secretary expressed delight that Governor Ugwuanyi, notwithstanding the nation's doubting challenges such as insecurity, the COVID-19 pandemic and economic meltdown among others, sacrificed a lot to sponsor candidates for the pilgrimage. Represented by his deputy, Honorable Mrs. Cecilia Ezilo, the governor, who enlightened the people on the inherent benefits of the visit to Jordan, further advised them to be good ambassadors of Enugu and Benue states and Nigeria at large. The president of the National Association of Resident Doctors (NAD), Dr. Okuwa Ihesuye Uyilewa, has called on the federal government to honor the memorandum of understanding it signed with the association in March 9, 2021, insisting that only a favorable response to their demands would make them call off the ongoing national strike. Uyilewa stated this in an interview with Signature TV in Abuja at the weekend. Signature TV correspondent Chibezobi reports.
The president of the Doctors Association, Okuwa Ihesuye Uyilewa, said the issues of welfare, death in service, review of hazard and house allowances, minimum wage adjustment arrears, capturing the names of some of their members in the federal government regular payment platforms, among others, must be given attention before they would call off the strike. Responding to the statement by the Minister of Labour and Employment that 9.3 billion naira was released to pay the death in service insurance, Uyilewa stated that none of the striking doctors has been paid or contacted in that regard.
The part of our when we went to strike last year was that all health workers should at least have a health insurance. And after losing 19 members to COVID-19, they were supposed to benefit from a death in service insurance to the next of kin. As of yesterday, most of them are not even in the list. The Minister of Labour went on air and said that 9.3 billion naira was released for payment of the death in service insurance. But we are aware that none of our members have been contacted. We also have the minimum wage adjustment arrears that was signed by the Honorable President of Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammad Buhari. Up to now, nothing has been done about that.
Uyilewa lamented the shortage of doctors in Nigeria's health facilities, as most of them have traveled abroad to continue with their careers, adding that the few available should be adequately rewarded. The president of the doctors' body further stated that 8,905 members of the association have now been captured in Integrated Payroll Personal Information System (IPPIS), with 114 members having irregularity in their payment and are being owed for over 6 months.
Me and you know that of recent we have seen an exodus of doctors, nurses, pharmacists, therapists outside, and there have been a lot of brain drain that has been affecting Nigeria as a whole. And then the few ones that are available, and with the bottlenecks in trying to get waivers for doctors to be employed in the hospitals, and we know that for you to get the regular payments, you have to be enrolled and captured into the IP system. We have about 8,700 members that have not been captured. We have members in UCH, about 205 of them. They should be captured under the IP system, and their remunerations should be paid. If a worker has worked, he deserves to be paid his wages.
The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, had accused the association of not notifying the ministry before embarking on the strike, and that most of their demands were state government's responsibilities. Uyilewa, however, said the association gave the minister 4 weeks' notice before embarking on the strike, adding that all the issues raised are federal government responsibilities and not those of the states, as alleged by the federal government.
On the issues of the house officer, irregularities in payment of the house officer is federal, it's not state. On the circular sent by the head of service, move them from scheme of service, it's federal, it's not state. Members on gift mix is federal, not state. Recapturing them into IPs, it's federal, not state. Payment of the hazard allowance is federal, not state. Payment of the minimum wage arrears is federal, it's not state. Payment of the medical resident training fund is federal and not state. So it is obvious that maybe there's a miscommunication, or we're not directing the House and Nigerians well. On the 25th of June, we gave him a reminder that we have about 4 weeks to our strike action. So he's giving wrong information.
The federal government has sued the Doctors Association to the National Industrial Court for not declaring a labor dispute before going on strike. The case, which came up on Monday, August the 16th, was adjourned to September 15th, 2021. In Abuja, Chibuezobi for Signature TV.
And now moving over to business, the Naira fell further against the dollar at the parallel market on Wednesday after staying steady at 515 Naira to $1 in recent days. The local currency fell to 517 against the US currency at the parallel market on Wednesday. At the investors and exporters window, the Naira weakened by 0.06% to close at 411.71 to $1 on Wednesday. According to financial market dealers' quotations, the Naira had strengthened to 506 Naira to the dollar on August 4th after plunging to 525 to the dollar at the parallel market on July 28th, a day after Central Bank of Nigeria stopped foreign exchange sales to bureau de change. It has been hovering around 508 and 510 to the dollar in recent days. And now on the foreign scene. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has announced it will block previously agreed assistance to Afghanistan following the collapse of the Ghani government. A spokesperson for the Washington-based crisis lender Wednesday said it had decided to withhold its assistance to Afghanistan amid uncertainty over the status of the leadership in Kabul. The IMF approved a historic $650 billion loan to support global liquidity early August. Due to the country's large current deficit, the Afghanistan Central Bank was scheduled to receive approximately $450 million in shipments on August 23rd. The United States had earlier frozen approximately $9.5 billion in Afghan reserves. Central Bank Governor Ajimal Ahmadi, in a series of tweets, said the central bank vaults were empty, which is sure to cause a rise in inflation, currency depreciation, and an increase in food prices. And now for Sport Report, a first coronavirus case has been detected in the Paralympic village. Delays before the games open, organizers said on Thursday as Japan battles a record wave of infections. The case involves a games-related member of staff who is not resident in Japan, according to organizers who did not give further details. Organizers have so far reported 74 cases linked to the Paralympics, mostly among contractors and game staff who live in Japan. Another 6 cases have been reported by local areas hosting teams for training camps. There have not yet been infection reported among athletes in the village, which opened to Paralympians on Tuesday. The Paralympics opened on August 24 with around 4,400 athletes from approximately 160 teams set to take part. They begin around 2 weeks after the Olympics ended, with organizers saying they were able to prevent any major spread of infection through tough antivirus measures. And now, before we end the news, a recap of our major stories. Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong has relaxed 24-hour curfew in Jos North, South and Basa local governments. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday met with security chiefs at the presidential villa Abuja, met over terror war. Charles Soludo Victor Oye lose as court declares Chukwuma Umeoji All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA candidate of Anambra governorship election. Now remember, safety and security begins with you. Be patriotic and report any suspicious activity to law enforcement agencies. Please stay safe. And that's the Signature TV News update. On behalf of my producer Damilola Arebushola, I am Marvelous Oboman. Thanks for watching.